See, in how many ways? Even a baby's face. You walk around, you just see a baby's face. Immediately you forget all the worries. You smile. Stop a minute and smile at the baby. Should you be thankful to that little baby? And the one who gave that baby to the mother? That's what. There's no end. If we are not that grateful and thankful, we become debtors. So our whole life is filled with that kind of gifts. We came totally naked, without anything. Everything was given from the nature. And the nature doesn't expect anything in return. It's our duty to be thankful. And that's all we can give. When an apple tree gives you a fruit, you're not going to give a banana in return. At least be thankful. When rain pours, you get rain. So should you send a bucket of water to the rain? You cannot. All you can do is thank God for the rain. Thank God for the sun. At least that way you pay your debts back. That's why sometimes even the people around come to the ashram or the organization, stay sometime, and over a trifling thing they may drop the whole thing and go. It doesn't matter, but at least let them be thankful for what they got. Otherwise they are going as debtors. They might have gotten a lot of nice benefits by being around here. One day probably they didn't get a proper food what they wanted, or a proper comfort, or an overlook room to live. But remember where you would be if you hadn't come here. Where were you? How did you get picked? Think of all that. People should live with that kind of gratefulness. Gratitude is one of the great quality. It's not that charity to be grateful. Nobody needs your gratitude. Not that they are looking for, they are asking for it. But if you don't give it, you become a debtor. The other day, someone was asking me, being involved in this organization since so many years, now I have my own business or family or something. I wanted to give some sort of monthly contribution, tithing like, but unfortunately my earning is very limited, hand to mouth, not even enough to pay the bills. What should I do? But I want to do. Then I advise that person. I know even if you cannot pay your bill, think that this is a bigger bill. Other bills may probably stop their giving. This bill, if you don't pay, you'll become a bigger debtor. God has given you all this. God's share should never be stopped. All the devotees, each one paid a rupee or 2 or 3, collected money to buy a car for me, because I was serving them. One big estate owner came and said, why to go and collect rupee by rupee? I'll buy a car for you. I said, no, I don't want that car. It'll be your car and not my car. If everybody gives me, it'll be my car as well as their car. So they started collecting money. One fellow, an important officer in an office, big office, agricultural officer, he gave 10 rupees. But when he gave that money, he was a great Shiva devotee, like he goes to the temple, takes part in the service, he will blow the conch during the service. Very great devotee. When he sees me, he'll fall and do all this. You know, that Indian style of Prana Prostration. You fall like this, and then you take this, and then do this 3 times. But when he was approached by the secretary of that center, he gave 10 rupees and said, I don't know why sannyasis should have a car. All right, when you are coming, I can't say no, take it. So during one of the satsang, after a month or so, I went there, and in the satsang, secretary slowly got up and said, Swami, if somebody doesn't like to contribute, should we accept it from them still? Or what do we say? I said, why do you accept it? You should not. Oh, I made a mistake. Then he didn't like it, but still gave me. I accepted 10 rupees from that person. I said, who is that person? He was also sitting there. Everybody was wondering who that person. Only the secretary knows. Then he didn't want to say, Swami, I really don't know. All right, Shankarapilla, are you the person? I knew immediately who it is. Shankarapilla, are you the person? He immediately started perspiring. He's an elderly man, about 60-year-old, almost retiring time. And immediately got up, fell in front of me and said, I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. No, that's not right. Take that 10 rupees and give it back to him. I don't want that. You know why? Because every rupee is given with love. So every rupee jointly by the car. And his 10 rupee might have purchased a bolt from the wheel of my car, and he gave it without all that love. Suppose, when I drive fast, if that particular, if that one bolt gets loose because it was not given with love, it will spoil the whole car and me too. Because that one rotten apple will spoil all other apples. No, take it back. Take it. I don't want it. He came, begged and cried, and please, I pay you $10 more for my mistake. So he contributed more and forced me to accept that. I said, all right then, fine. If you really feel that way, I'll accept it. But forget about the past. It's true. Charity is to be done that way. Total sincerity, love. And we are indebted to that way. During the satsang of Saint Ramakrishna, once he saw a very poor man. He started coming a few times and he noticed him. One day he called that person and said, hi, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a laborer. I just go on. How much money you make? Rupee. In those days, even 2 annas, 1/8 of a rupee for a whole day's work. 1/8 of a rupee. A rupee is 1/8 of $1. 1/64 of $1 was the whole 1 day labor coolie. They go in the morning, 5 o'clock, come at 8 o'clock. They get 2 annas. So is it? Oh yes. On that day, at that time, with 2 annas, you can have 3 days' meal. You can buy so much. For 4 annas, you can buy a full bag of rice, which is good for 1 whole month. There was time like that. Money also had value in those days. Yeah. So he asked, all right then, do you chew betel and nut? Yes. All right. You know, I also chew sometimes, just the nuts. Why don't you buy a nut? And a nut costs, if you pay, say, 200, a rupee in those days had 192 paisas. Say roughly 200 cents make a rupee. Put it that way. For 1 cent, you can buy at least 10 nuts, small nuts. So already spend 1 cent, 10 nuts. And even crack 1 nut into 4 pieces. Every time you come, bring 1 little piece and leave it next to me. I like to put it in the mouth and chew. So, oh, that I can do. Why not I leave the whole nut? No, just 1 piece. It's fine. The people around were surprised. We don't even see you chewing the nut that much. Why do you ask him, bring a nut? He went away. So he was telling, yes, because I didn't want him to be a debtor. When he comes, certainly he gets something. Though not materially, mentally, spiritually, he gets something. And he has to retain something. I give him what I can, he should give what he can. I don't want him to become a debtor. So I asked him. This you find in the story of Ramakrishna. See how the nature's law functions. We can never be free from the debt. And let us not postpone it, say, oh, when I become a millionaire, I will send $1 million to the church. When you are become a millionaire, okay, send $1 million, send 10,000. Now you are a dollar owner, 10 cents, 5 cents, 1 cent. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. That day you purge yourself from the indebtedness.